Let's take a look at this cubic functions question. The question reads, sketched below is a graph of f of x. The x-intercepts are 3 and 0 and m, where m lies on the negative x-axis. K, 0 and minus 3 is the y-intercept. M and n are the turning points. And that's important because this m point is going to help us to get the equation of this function. The question reads, show that the equation is given by. Now, when you want to find out the equation of a cubic function and one of the x-intercepts is also a turning point, then the equation of that function can be written as a into x minus x1 all squared and then x minus x2. Okay, where x1 is the x value for the turning point. Now in this case, we don't know what it is. So let's leave it as xm. So the x value for point m. Now, what is this a value? This a value is not the a value that's in the formula. The a value is actually the coefficient of x to the power of 3, which in this case is 1. So let's go ahead and rewrite this formula. So f of x is equal to 1 into x minus xm all squared, and then x minus, we've been given the other x-intercept. The other x-intercept is 3. So it's going to be x minus 3. Now what we need to do is we need to substitute a point that lies on the graph. We've been given point k, so let's substitute that in. So minus 3 is equal to 0 minus xm all squared, and then 0 minus 3. We can then simplify. Minus 3 is equal to minus xm all squared, and then multiplied by minus 3. We can divide both sides by minus 3. We'll get 1 is equal to xm all squared. Now square root both sides. Xm is equal to plus or minus 1. But since m lies on the negative x-axis, this coordinate is going to be minus 1 and 0. We're not done yet. We still need to substitute this value into our original equation. So f of x is equal to x minus 1 is x plus 1 all squared, and then x minus 3. Let's expand. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 3. We can expand further. X to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus 2x squared minus 6x, and then plus x and minus 3. Lastly, simplify. X to the power of 3 minus x squared, then minus 5x minus 3. And that's our answer. Okay. Next, calculate the coordinates of n. Now n is a turning point. Now to solve for the coordinates of n, what we need to do is we take the derivative of this function. So 9.2, we'll take the derivative of this function. The derivative is going to be, so f prime x is going to equal 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. Next, equate it to 0. 0 is equal to 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. Factorize. You're going to get 3x minus 5, and then x plus 1. Now we solve. X is equal to 5 over 3, or x equals negative 1. We know the negative 1 value. That's where m is. So that must mean that this value must be for n. So this value right here is 5 over 3. So here, x is 5 over 3. Let's neaten it up a bit. 5/3. Okay, let's move on. Oh, well, they want the coordinate. So if they want the coordinate, we need to take this 5/3 and substitute it back into the original function. So f of x is going to equal 5/3 to the power of 3 minus 5/3 squared minus 5 into 5/3 minus 3. And you put that in your calculator, of course, that's going to give you a value of minus 256/27. So we can write that coordinate down right here at n. So 5/3 and then minus 256/27. Okay, question 9.3.1. For which values of x will f of x be less than 0? So what we're looking for here is where is this graph going to be negative? Now we can see that in this green region it's positive, and in this blue region right here it's less than 0, except this one point here where it is equal to 0. So how do we write that? So 9.3.1, we can say that x should be less than 3, but x cannot equal 0. Sorry, x cannot equal minus 1, because that is one of the values of the turning point. Next question, 9.3.2. For which values of x will f be increasing? All right, so if you're reading this graph, you can see that it's increasing right here, and it's increasing right here. So it will increase when x is less than -1, or it will increase when x is greater than 5/3. Okay, next question, 9.3.3. For which values of x will f be concave up? So if we're talking about concavity, you need to take the second derivative. So we have the first derivative here. Let's take the second one. So f double prime x, that's going to equal 6x minus 2. And then for concave up, we need to make sure that it is greater than 0. So 6x minus 2 must be greater than 0. 6x should be greater than 2. X should be greater than 1/3. 2/6 is 1/3. Okay, now the last question. Determine the maximum vertical distance between the graphs of f and the derivative of f in the interval x must be between -1 and 0. Now for 6 marks, the most marks in this question, first we need to break it up into sections. Now, first thing, they're talking about vertical distance. And whenever there is a vertical distance question, we must subtract the functions. Okay, so we'll say f of x minus f prime x. So f of x is, let's just go back and check. So x to the power of 3 minus x squared minus 5x minus 3. Then minus the derivative is 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. So 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. Let's simplify. That's x to the power of 3 minus x squared minus 5x minus 3 minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 5. Let's simplify again. So we're going to get x to the power of 3, then minus 4x squared, then minus 3x, and then plus 2. So that represents the distance. Now, if you want to get the maximum distance, we take the derivative. So we'll take the derivative of this. The derivative of this is going to be 3x squared minus 8x minus 3, and you equate it to 0. Now, factorize. Okay? Now to factorize this, we're going to get 3x plus 1 and then x minus 3 is equal to 0. That means x is equal to 3 or x is equal to minus 1 over 3. Now remember, they restricted it. They said x must be between minus 1 and 0. So this is not applicable. This is the value we're going to choose. So x is equal to minus 1 over 3. Now to work out the distance, you take this value and substitute it into the distance. That's the distance. So step 3 is substitute. You're going to have minus 1 over 3 to the power of 3 minus 4 into minus 1 over 3 squared minus 3 into minus 1 over 3 plus 2. And that's going to give you an answer of 2,52 units. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.